This achievement is so peculiar. You have to think about this game incredibly different in order to get it, and I get so many questions about what counts as canceling the achievement, what works, what doesn't, what do you recommend doing for it? And I'm hoping that with this video, I can clear all the questions out of the air and hopefully give some recommendations for you to get the achievement as well. The main question that's on people's minds are what actually counts as moving on to the incorrect color of tile. Now, the most obvious one is moving. You can't move a piece onto the incorrect color of tile during the game, but you also can't land the piece onto the incorrect tile. I believe that the achievement wording is quite misleading. For gambit descriptions, let's take Excalibur's gambit as an example. It says you can promote by moving a pawn next to a king, and that does not include landing. So with the description saying you can't move a piece onto this color of tile, it also includes landing, which is inconsistent for how the gambit descriptions are worded, but that's just how it is. Luckily, placing pieces onto the wrong color of tile during formation mode or during the shop is perfectly fine. So just existing on the piece is fine as long as you don't trigger the event of a piece moving on to that wrong color. If you have already tried this challenge out before, you will quickly realize what the real challenge of this is. Bishops will not move outside of the wrong color of tile, and this means you can't capture it. There is no way for you to capture a bishop that is on the wrong color of tile. The only way for bishops to be taken out is if the tile under it crumbles. And this is highly dependent on the RNG of crumble mode, which everyone loves. It's this magical dance of, oh, I have to stay alive, a, have a lot but not too many pieces on the board on my correct color of tiles, and just pray that this bishop decides to move onto a crumbling tile. It is not guaranteed. There's very little. There's a lot that you can do to influence this randomness, but still a lot of luck involved. You're going to be playing a lot of runs. But it's possible, and I really hope that you can do it too. The same concept also applies to pawns that are facing an already crumbled tile, and they're on the wrong color of tile. They can't move forward, they can attack diagonally, but of course you can't put any pieces on there, with some very few exceptions. And when you have either of these scenarios accompanied by an elite, man, it just gets so annoying. This elite will be most likely this elite is going to be a queen, and they are going to be a stick in your butt. I enjoy playing around protective tiles so that you can kind of do a dance around this elite piece. One thing that should be mentioned is that elite pieces are still significantly more susceptible to crumble tiles because you can lure them onto a crumbling tile of the good color, and this will take out the elite. It's still not very often that you get the chance to do this, but it is possible. The general game plan of what to do will be the same thing that anyone else is going to tell you. Make some queens. Of course, start out with starting with Broken Wheel. I do recommend that you unlock all of the bonuses so that you can play this with all bonuses, no strings. This will give you the best bang for your buck of a good start and help you get this achievement and get your feet on the ground. Building your board to help facilitate taking all the pieces on the board early is, of course, a very good thing, especially with this challenge where there are going to be pieces that you can't take anyways. And as you'll see later on, Gambits are very important for getting this achievement done. Specifically, there are specific gambits that enable you to survive correctly in those annoying crumble modes. And we need those gambits, or at least they are very helpful to us. So take every single gambit token that you see. Once you get your econ online, you're past that interest cap, you can start re-rolling for them. It's just important that you keep an eye out for these gambits that I'm going to say so that you can get things going correctly. If you need information or help on how to get a good run going, how to dupe queens, how to correctly manage your econ, play efficiently, all that jazz, I really recommend that you watch Fermita's videos on playing Gambonanza effectively and optimally. I'll leave a link in the description, pop up, all that jargon. These are the gambits that will help you on the way. Bribes Gambit is the holy grail of doing these challenges. Being able to controllably skip turns is perfect for getting pieces to crumble. Let's say that there is currently a bishop on a crumbling tile. If you don't do anything, that bishop is going to move off of that crumbling tile. However, if you use a turn-skipping gambit like Bribes, you can trigger it, the bishop can't move, and it's forced to crumble. Now, of course, it's not all that often that you will get a bishop on that crumbling tile, but it is still quite common. So, this is the number one gambit that I recommend picking up. There are also other turn-skipping gambits that get the same job, well, most notably Frog's Gambit. Of course, that's a 1 and 2, but pair it with Gamblers or just get lucky and you'll be fine. There are some other combinations like Crowns and Falling Crowns, and Dainsleif works as well, actually. Maybe even the King's Guard Gambit. Anything that skips turn could get the job done, but Bribes is by far the easiest way to get the job done. I love Lick's Gambit. It is so useful for so many situations, and it actually has a sort of unique interaction with this challenge. You will need to land the piece on the correct color of tile, but that will force this new phantom piece to be on the incorrect color of tile, and it won't cancel the achievement. This is one of those few exceptions that lets you put your own pieces on the incorrect color of tile. So let's say you have an enemy bishop that has a crumbling tile in its line of sight that is low enough for you to land a piece next to. You can land a piece on a correct color of tile, have that new phantom piece land on the crumbling tile to bait the bishop to take and crumble. Now, this scenario isn't all that common, but I've had a few scenarios where it actually saved the run. So I love Lick's Gambit, and it's not only good for that, it's also good for piece generation. Pair it with a gold tile and you're set. I should start talking about using weights when it comes to crumble mode. There are many scenarios where you actually don't have a valid move during the late stages of crumble mode. There comes to a point where there are so little tiles on the board that you don't have a correct color of tile to actually move on. Your only option is to wait, which is why I recommend to never use your weights unless you're on a board position without any bishops or pawns or any kind of crumble mode enabler, but also just keeping them for that crumble mode so that you don't get stuck later on. And Coconut Juice's Gambit lets you not have to worry about managing your weights. This is also useful for when you need to wait more than 3 times during crumble mode, which has definitely happened to me. Jump's Gambit, although not that important, I still always take it because there are some scenarios like, let's say there is a correct color of tile way in the back and everything around it has already crumbled, and your last correct color tiles are about to get taken. You want to jump all the way to that island of correct color tile, and Jump's Gambit enables you to do that. These are the gambits that let you survive more efficiently and pull crumble mode to your favor. But there are some other gambits I do want to mention. Addiction's Gambit is just an all-around good gambit for both finding these with gambit tokens, but also getting your tile tokens and board setup done correctly. Lavender's is good. Very good gambit. You can use it to enable your piece generation without having to worry about other things that don't consist of finding these important gambits. And of course, all the goody gambits that come with only using one color of tile, especially the White Crown's gambit. This is very useful for it's just a queen printer. That's all it is. That's exactly what it's meant to do. So if you've got if you've got White Crown's gambit, you don't need Lavenders. There are a few things that I do want to mention before I end off the video, and that is that these bosses you will come to hate. Especially Kev Borklik, who will use up all your weights, very precious weights that you need for crumble mode. Bodhizara will also facilitate an even worse crumble mode because for sure, whenever Bodhizara activates, it will be on a good color of tile, which means you will have less good color of tiles left in crumble mode. This, I guess, kind of falls into a gray area, no pun intended, but these gambits that make colors of tiles count as other colors. I've talked with some data miners for the game about whether these actually work towards the achievement, and they believe that it doesn't. But I'm still going to talk about them just in case you're some kind of believer who thinks that they could help. I want to say that even if there's this scenario where the counted as colors do actually do things, I don't think they're worth picking up anyways, at least in comparison to the other gambits that you can find. More specifically, these yin and yang's gambits, I'm quite positive that they make it so that when it triggers, the tile is counted as both white and black. Which, if you read the achievement description closely, you will realize that it is waiting to deactivate it when you step on the wrong color, as opposed to always checking if you're on the right one. So Yin and Yang's Gambit will actually just actively hurt you in this scenario. Enigma's Gambit, you could theoretically play with this, pick it up, pivot to the other color of tile, and then when you've got a really pesky bishop, you sell Enigmas, and then take that bishop and pivot back to the regular tile. That's possible, but of course, it's a one-time use for buying and selling, and it's really annoying to pivot back and forth between between tiles, which brings me to my next topic. Sometimes, especially coming from playing Gambonanza the way that God intended, it's tough to not accidentally just place a piece on a specific tile. You've got this bishop right in front of you. You just want to take it, and your mind turns off, and you say, "Oh, free bishop," and you take it on the wrong color, and your entire run is dead. So please play this slowly. There have been too many runs that I've had that were lost to either misclicks or I'm not thinking correctly. And lastly, good luck. I mean this in both a figurative way and a literal way. This achievement takes luck. There are some times where crumble mode doesn't go your way. You could have all of those good gambits that I mentioned. You could have everything going your way, but the crumble mode has decided no, all of your good tiles are gone. And we're just going to leave this bishop stuck on an island far, far away and never crumble it. It happens. You're going to be playing a lot of runs, and sometimes it's just the RNG that will take you down. You don't find the right gambits, crumble mode doesn't go your way. you're gonna have to reset, and that's just how it is. And I really hope that even through that, you are willing to put in the willpower to get this achievement. It's very fun. There's not a lot of people who get it. If you couldn't tell, this is very peculiar, and you have to learn all these weird new things. But I wish you luck in getting it.